Hello, I'm going to try to do a relatively quick intro to this next video. I'm still into box making here, and this one has a real in mind, end game in mind. This is going to be two little gift boxes I'm making for two girls who are having a birthday this month. They're having a party together in a couple of weeks, and I'm trying to rig up a gift for them. What I've got here, this is walnut. This is cedar, this is bloodwood, and this is poplar. And I got the same thing here. So what I'm going to do, this is going to be the body of the box, and that's going to be the body. The shape of the box is going to be a heart. I'm going to make these the lid and these the base. And what I'm going to do for the lid, I'm going to have it pivot. I'm going to leave some meat right here, and I'm going to drill through and put this through this dowel, quarter-inch dowel through, and it's going to fit up in the bottom of this, and it's going to swivel on that point. I'm going to rig up some way it'll click into place here, hopefully, or possibly use a magnet or something to kind of hold it in place when it's closed, so it don't just slide apart, hopefully. But first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tape all these together. I'm going to cut them all at once so they'll all be identical shape. And then I'll cut the center out of that of the box, and then I'm thinking about inlaying the lid with some cherry. Got some cherry here. I'm thinking about inlaying the lid, their initials in the lid with that cherry and that red bloodwood. So that's the plan right now. The only thing I'm not sure of is exactly how I'm going to finish with the lid. We'll see how it works when I get through and what I have to do with it. I've got a couple of ideas, but for now I'm going to fix it up, tape it up, get the pattern mounted, and then we'll start cutting the main body of the box out and the top and the bottom. And the rest of it will be fairly simple, I hope. The finishing will take longer than anything, but let me start taping and applying patterns, and then we'll figure out how to cut it out. All right, so I've got the pattern mounted on this with all the pieces taped together. Lighting's not very good. I've lost my son today. But anyway, I've got all these layers taped together. I've got the pattern on. I haven't drilled the center yet because I don't want to drill through my lid and my base. I've got a number 9. I'm cutting a pretty thick piece here, and bloodwood is pretty hard. It's layered in there. This is a number 9 Flying Dutchman XL. It's a skip tooth, non-reverse tooth blade. So I'm going to make this external cut, and then I'll remove the base and the lid, and then I'll drill and cut the internal cut. We'll start right now with the external cut. So here we go. Well, I'm pleased with the way that cut. Cut it very smoothly, very well. It didn't, blade didn't wander in the lower areas, which is the reason I moved up to the 9, so it cut straight all the way up and down. But that worked very well. Now I'm going to drill this and make the internal cut. Here's my foot pedal is giving me some problems. Got some speed variations there. As I was cutting, I may have to replace that pedal or take a look at it. It's got a lot of hours on it. But anyway, I'm going to cut this. I'm going to drill this and cut it with the same blade, and then we'll take another look at it. Okay, I'm ready to cut this internal part. I'm going to leave this section right here. That's where I'm going to drill for a pivot rod. And we'll cut this slow and easy because this cedar should cut pretty well. But here we go. We're going to cut that out and then see what we have. So far, so good. I like the way it's going so far. It's going to look nice. Got a little, I have to fill that in. Some little imperfection in the wood that I didn't see, but I can fix that. Anyway, looks like that's the only place. Hopefully, there's another one. Something was in that wood that I didn't see internally, but I'll fix that, and it won't be a big problem. So anyway, next I'm going to drill. I'm going to figure out exactly where I'm going to drill that spot, and we'll work from there. And I'll have to do some repairs there, but we'll make it work. So what I'm doing with these is I'm insetting their initial in the top of the box. This one's almost finished. I still got a few follow-ups to do on it. Now this one I'm going to go ahead and put the initial in this lid while I've got it set the same as the one I just did. But I got to build a new body for this one. You saw that little bit of a mess up. Something was wrong with the wood there, so I've got another layer of walnut glued together so I can build a different body for this box. But while I've got it set, after I just did the other one, I'm going to go ahead and cut this one out. That cut really nicely. What I've got there is the lid is bloodwood, but this little piece I'm inserting is cherry. I caught it's really quick. It cuts so easily I had to be real careful around those corners. It'd want to skid out like a car. But, I'm going to get this apart and we'll see how well it insets. So it worked out pretty well. Standing a little proud, but that's not a big issue. I'll push that in and glue it as far as I can, and then I'll sand that down. I like it smooth. That's one thing. You could use it like kind of in a relief if you wanted to, but for me the inset's supposed to be matching the original wood, so that's what I'm going to do with this. Once I get it glued in, I'll sand that down, make it smooth on the top. I have a video on this procedure that I'll link to. I'll put it right there on the screen for you if you want to go back and look at that. So anyway, I'm going to get this over to the bench and set up to cut the body out for this this lid. Okay, so as we saw on this piece, this was cedar, 3 layers of 3/8 inch cedar, and it had an issue internally in the wood that I didn't see when I first put it on. And then when I tried to drill it, I thought I might patch that. Tried to drill it, well, it broke out right there. So, as I even had a pilot hole, but it still broke out. So I thought, well, we'll just have to start over with that. I found enough walnut here that I could layer and make a 1-inch box. And what I've done is I've taken the base that I cut out with this, and I'm going to use it as a pattern. I've stuck it on there with double-sided tape, and I'm going to use that to try to cut it as identical to this in the lid as I can. Probably won't be perfect, but hopefully it'll be good enough that we can make this work. Got to rearrange everything here because I'm going to be cutting on the back side of that piece. So I'm going to try to do this. And it should cut pretty easy because that walnut's not that hard, and I've got a number 9 XL blade, non-reverse tooth. So Here we go. Okay, that works about as well as I thought it would. It's always an issue. I have trouble with lighting when I have something like this. I have to cut it on the wrong side and then I have trouble blowing it. But I made it through and I got a little sanding to do. I'm going to round these tip off on the vinyl box anyway, so I'm not too worried about that. I think the rest of it's going to match up all right with just a little bit of sanding. And the lid should match it well, and we'll move forward with this, see what we can do. I'll have to cut the center of that out now. So let me get all this apart and then we'll look at it later. So with the base still stuck to it with the tape, I went ahead and went to the sander and cleaned it up a little bit. Got as close to perfect as I could get it. So then I've marked this interior 1/4 inch or so walls, leaving a little meat down here to drill my hole for the swivel for the lid. So this is the same blade I just cut the outside with. And by the way, on the inset I used a number 3 reverse tooth on that. That's what I had set the angle for. So anyway, this one is still a number 9. So we're going to go ahead and cut this. It should cut quickly and easily. So there we have it. That went pretty well. This blade does not like to cut with a grain. That's what you run into with different wood and grain combinations. Cut really well across grain, but I even checked. I thought I had the blade in backwards when I first started out. But once we got going, it cut just fine. It's nice and smooth, and it's about as good as we're going to get on this wood. So now I'll go. Well, what we got to do is I'm going to drill this hole and get ready to insert the lid and to glue the bottom on. So we'll get it over to the bench and figure out exactly where I'm going to drill that hole, and then take it to the drill press and drill it. Okay, try not to get too technical or scientific on this. I just want a hole basically in there that will be as close to the center as we can get. It don't have to be perfect. So I've kind of measured a little bit, got myself a bit of a mark to go by, and I'm going to raise that up in there, and that's where I'm going to drill it. So I'm going to start out with a small hole and work my way up, and then what I'll do is, once I get this sanded down, I got to do that next. I'll put that together and flip them over and drill down to make sure my hole matches in the bottom of this, so that it will line up when I drop it in, just like this one. Now this one still needs a little finishing sanding to make everything match up perfectly, but that's what I'll have to do with the other one also. But next I'm going to go over to the drill press with a smaller bit. I'm going up to a 1/4 inch on that. Then I'm going to start with a smaller bit and work my way up. I probably will finish it with a Forstner bit, but anyway, here we go. We're going to do that. So I'm at the drill press. I'm going to start with a 1/8. We want to go up to a 1/4. But for now, we're just going to use this 1/8, and we'll start a pilot hole with it. Next we're going to go up to a 3/16, I believe. We're just going to work our way up 2 or 3 steps there. Alright, here goes a 3/16. Anyway, so I don't know how much of that I got. My recording this with my phone and it got full, so I had to stop and move over to my SD card. But anyway, what I did, in case I didn't get it, is I put this on top of that, lined it up, and ran the 1/4 inch down through to mark this spot on this lid. And now I'm going to use this Forstner bit to drill that spot down 1/8 of an inch or so that the dowel will fit in there. I believe that's going to be good, and I'll just cut me a piece of dowel to glue in there, and then we'll run it through the box. Still got to glue the bottom on the box, and I'm going to figure out some way. I may use a magnet or something, I haven't decided yet, to kind of keep the lid in place, because it swivels really easily with this. So anyway, we'll move over to the bench, and I'll glue the bottom on, and we'll see what else we're going to do after that. So I got both lids finished. I got the initials in them. I've got them both mounted in this swivel peg thing. And what I've done is I have taken my 1/4 inch Forstner bit, drilled a hole, and that's a little magnet. It's a 1/4 inch, about a little over 6 millimeter magnet. And I've put a small nail right there, and that helps keep the lid in place. So I've sanded it a little bit. I've got them pretty well the way I want them as far as everything matching up. Now I'm going to do a little more sanding, get some of the larger scratches off the surfaces of the box. Pretty well done that on the sides. And then I'm going to treat it with Danish oil, and hopefully if the weather warms up before I'm ready to give them away, I'll try to seal them with some clear spray. I don't know if I'll get there because it's really cold right now, and I don't like to spray this in the shop, and I need it to be a little warmer for me to do that outside. But anyway, I'm going to put the Danish oil on it, a little more sanding, a little more and some Danish oil, and then we'll take another look at it. Well, I sanded it down to 200 grit by hand, and I have applied 2 coats of the Danish oil, and I like the results that I got with that. So before I can seal it, if I do seal it, that oil has to sit 72 hours, so 3 days. Hopefully the end of that 2 to 3 days or somewhere in there, it'll be warm enough I'll be able to go outside to do a sealing coat on it. Not sure I'm going to do that, but we'll wait till the 3 days are up, see what the weather is, because I've got about a week before I have to pass them on. And if I do that, we'll come back and we'll add that to this video to show what the finished product looks like. They look real good right now. I like the way they're looking, and time that oil soaks in, it'll be really nice little pieces. So I hope you enjoyed this, and if if you did, give me a like and hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed, because I'm going to continue doing stuff like this. I'm also going to throw in some other things other than scroll saw, but still going to do scroll saw at least once a week. So if you like that, well, hang on with me and hit the subscribe button and like button, and I'll see you in the next video if we don't see this again.